today's question that we're going to be talking about is, what are some of the stigmas surrounding suicide? Different cultures respond differently, so there's also cultural nuances to the stigmas that are present, but generally across the world, it is very stigmatized, and that's why we're talking about it today. To talk more about it, so Vyaas, what are some of the
Mhm,
stigmas that you're aware of that surround
mhm,
suicide?
mm. Right. Yeah. I mean, the fact that like a lot of topics in India, it's a taboo topic to discuss, and the idea that people who have these thoughts are seen as weak, or even talking about it to your friends, they might be shunned by a group of friends because they have these thoughts, and they bring the mood of the group down. So you have this sort of resistance when it comes to family members and friends to talk about this topic. So that's a big stigma when it comes to uh, India, but it's changing. So it's good to see a lot of uh, initiatives taken by groups in India. And I mean, the other thing I guess is you know, the other thing I guess is, yeah, just the idea of some kind of mm, some kind of shame attached to it. So the fact that even it's on the news, you just skip right past it, or if parents haven't talked about this sensitive topic, it's a difficult topic. Like, no parent wants to talk about this, but it's something that's it's good to hear from a parent. Like, instead of hearing about it from friends or getting the wrong ideas, or you know not being in a comfortable space with friends, I think family can provide that. So things like that can really help bring down the stigma. So your thoughts, Ilakkiya?
Yeah, those are some really good examples you pointed out of some of the stigma surrounding it, and especially the shame aspect at the end. A lot of families, even in movie portrayals, because there's a specific movie I remember watching where someone in the family had committed suicide, completed suicide, and they, the family just, they cry, they keep their sadness to themselves. They don't want to reveal to other people why someone died. They consider it
Mm,
shameful that suicide is the way that someone decided to take their life compared to other causes like disease or severe injury or unexpected events. Like, that's all. Why does that not have the same stigma as suicide?
mm,
It's suicide is seen as something that the individual should have been able to control, in a way
mhm,
that it was their personal weakness that led to this, so they consider it a shame that someone in their family might have died from suicide. So
mm,
that's like part of the stigma. And something that I just corrected in this video, the phrasing of committing
mhm,
suicide versus other options, because suicide has been criminalized in a lot of countries throughout the past. And,
mhm,
in medieval times, if people died by suicide, then their property and their lands were forfeit to the government. It was not
mm,
able to be given to any legal heirs or anything like that. So the aspect of suicide was deemed to be a crime, and only
mhm,
recently was it decriminalized. I know that in the 2014 India Mental Health Act
mm,
that they passed, they talk about decriminalizing suicide there to help reduce the stigma,
mm,
because when you're saying the words committing suicide, you make
mm,
it seem like the person considering suicide is a criminal. They're committing a crime. You use the
mm,
word commit in regards to crimes. You commit theft, you
mm,
commit a robbery. It's seen as a negative thing, which for someone who's
mm,
thinking about suicide, it adds to the guilt and shame that they feel. They feel even worse. Are they a criminal for considering suicide as a way to
mm,
end their pain, uh, in their immediate lack of, it's a crisis of hope when people consider suicide.
mm,
So that wording is harmful,
mm,
and alternative versions would be to say someone died by suicide, or was killed by
mm.
suicide, or completed suicide. So those are
Yeah.
not as stigmatizing as saying someone committed suicide.
Mm,
So that's part of it. And, you know, again, the idea of talking about suicide might share the idea to other people. It's
mm,
it's like sharing weakness. in a way. So that is also a stigma around suicide as to like, why are you talking about this? Why are you thinking about this? I don't want to hear about it. And so talking about suicide is seen as sharing knowledge about it and because of that, people who are considering suicide are struggling alone. Right. So all of these stigmas that we're talking about prevent people who are considering suicide from getting help they need because it is seen as a taboo topic. It is seen as shameful. It is seen as weakness. It is seen as being selfish. Why are you killing yourself? Why are you putting me through this pain? You make it about yourself rather than the person who's going through a crisis. So yeah, these are all some harmful ways that stigmas prevent people who are considering suicide from getting help.
Right. Professional help.
Yep. So speaking of that, there's always resources available. If you are considering suicide, there are people who help. You are not alone.
Now I'm just wondering, what are some other acts that are tied into the word commit, the word committed. So yeah, suicide is, it's a very good distinction, and it's very powerful too, and it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, you attempt to suicide and it's a crime, and you've got to pay fines or spend time in jail in some countries. So yeah, the word complete, I guess, helps in that aspect as well. So moving it away from prisons and law enforcement.
Yep. So I guess now we can think about, what are some of the reasons that people are driven to consider suicide? Think about it.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. We'll see you guys on the next segment on this episode, and maybe we'll be sharing some stories, like I said.
Right. See you there.
Bye-bye.
Oh, you're still here? Well, thanks for getting to the end of the video. Hey, while you're still here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get new updates when we post videos. Also, make sure to check out these equally exciting videos as well. Have you pressed it yet? Come on, you have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, press it now!